What's up, guys? So here's the triplex. Here's my future baby. We have 3 units. We're really excited that we're closing here in a couple of days. Really prime location. We're really excited. We're really bullish on the area that we're coming to, mainly because the area that we currently live in is getting so popular and overpopulated and expensive. It's kind of pushing a lot of people this way, which we're about 45 minutes away from where we currently live. But really cool because we'll have management on it, and it's going to be a really popular area right next to the college as well, and we're super excited for it. That's it. That's all I wanted. What's going on, everybody? Now we're back in the studio. That was a couple weeks ago, and in this video, it's going to be very exciting. It's very exciting because I get the opportunity to present to you my very first multifamily investment property. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about 2 main things. We're going to talk about the loan and the financing that I got to acquire this property. And number 2, we're going to talk about my return on my investment and how I analyze real estate for all my future properties, right? So let's talk about how I end up getting a little bit of lucky to get this property. So one of the agents that I work with, where I've helped a handful of her buyers buy and sell homes, she called me and said, "Hey, Alex, I have a property under contract right now. It's a 3-unit investment property in Cedar City, Utah." Cedar City is about 45 minutes away from where I live currently. And I'm very, very bullish on Cedar City. I'm very bullish on this area because where I live, a lot of people are moving to. They're moving here from California, from Vegas, Nevada, from Idaho, from Arizona, and they're coming to where I live. Now, as infrastructure is growing out and too many dollars are chasing the same supply, and there's not enough of that supply, prices are going through the roof. They're going through the roof, but I'm here to tell you there's still deals to be found. So I'm really bullish on Cedar City because as where I live becomes overpopulated and gets more expensive, people are going to move north. And this is where I am buying this property as rents proceed to go up, as values proceed to go up. So she called me and said, "Hey, I have an investor that doesn't like the return that they were getting on this investment property and wants to back out. Well, I don't want to lose this deal, so do you want to take over if I can get it assigned to you?" An assignment just means that a contract is being changed from one owner to another owner. So I'm just taking and I'm inheriting this contract that he's already negotiated. So the asking price on this rental property was $385,000. They negotiated and got it under contract at $400,000. Now, I took some risk because it was not contingent on the appraisal. That means if this property did not appraise for $400,000, and let's say it appraised for $390,000, then I have to come in with the $10,000 difference since it is not contingent on that appraisal coming into value. So that was a big risk for me where I'm like, well, do I have the money and the chickens to be able to take and pay whatever difference that is? As in our market, their buyers and sellers are pushing these limits. So it was really kind of a gamble. So what happens is I said, yes, I would love to take over this property and this contract. Well, as you'd imagine, the sellers were not very happy. They were not happy because they had 15 offers on this property. And I'm assuming they had a backup and maybe a second backup and who knows, maybe even a third backup. And I just was able to cut the line like a Disney line fast pass and get ahead of everybody. Now, again, that's where the luck kind of came in. But I'll tell you what, I was ready for the opportunity. I had my finances in a place where I was already looking for properties and I was already excited about properties. And I was able to make a decision very, very quickly. So after 4 or 5 days of negotiating, because the sellers were not happy that they were going to change it over to me, they finally said yes. And a part of it was because they said, you guys seem you're so very excited about this property. We believe that you're going to perform. That was their biggest worry. They didn't want us to back out or maybe I couldn't perform, which was their worry. So we accepted it with the contingency of my $7,500 going hard at acceptance. What this means was I had to give them $7,500 of earnest money, which I wired to the title company, and it was released at acceptance, which means if I backed out or I could not close on this deal, that money was gone. It was gone forever. But you want to play with the big dogs, you gotta play with the big dogs, I guess. I don't know. So we took the risk and we jumped for it and said, yep, let's do it. We got it under contract. Well, we ordered the appraisal and here we are. We closed in 2 days. And so now I want to show you guys the loan that I got. I got a 10% down investment loan with no mortgage insurance. I know that sounds crazy. Typically, when you're buying investment properties, you got to have 20% down. Well, when you use me as your lender, you know. Anyways, so 10% down, and I want to show you guys my closing disclosure. Now, I'm showing this to you guys because I want to give you kind of the reality look of what it takes to buy a property and the financing it takes to acquire it. So as you can see here at the top left, you're going to see the closing date of 6/14 and funding on 6/15. Sales price right here of $400,000. My name, Alexander M. Hernandez, and Academy Mortgage, that's where I work. Anyways, now one quirky thing about this loan is it is amortized on 30 years, which means the payment is based off of a 30-year payback. That means I am paying this loan and the payment is based on paying it off in 30 years. Now, the quirky thing about this loan is there's a 15-year balloon. What that means is, and this is not very common in the real estate world, and it is typically kind of scary for some clients if they don't really understand it, was where on year 15, whatever amount is remaining, I have to pay one lump sum payment. Now, I'm going to tell you guys what. I don't care. It doesn't matter. 15 years, guys, is so far away. Who knows if I'll even own this property in 15 years? Doesn't matter. It's so far away. All I care about is two things. Cash flow, number one, and cash out of pocket to acquire the property is number two. So I'm going to optimize for two of those things, and this loan program was able to help me accomplish that while maximizing both to the best of my ability with the tools that I currently have. So you're going to see 10% down, which is $40,000, 10% of 400 grand, which gives me a loan amount of 360 grand. I have an interest rate of 3.25%, which is totally crazy for an investment property, by the way. Monthly principal and interest payment of $1,566.74. You're going to see my projected calculated payment. My principal and interest is copied down, and my estimated escrows. My estimated escrows consist of two things: property taxes and homeowners insurance, which are both important and must be paid, which is $162.51, giving me a whopping total monthly mortgage payment of $1,729.25, which is great. And we're going to talk about my monthly cash flow that I'm going to get and I'm going to receive every single month that makes this so beautiful. So as you come down here, my closing cost to acquire this property was $12,193.90. It's a tad higher than me if I put down 20% down or if I did just another loan program. But I'll tell you what, I'm optimizing for two things, like I said before. Number one is cash out of pocket. In this loan program, even if I compared it versus the 20% down, which would be 80 grand, I'm only putting down 40 grand plus my closing costs. Although my closing costs are a little higher, my total net cash out of pocket is significantly less. So my cash to close is $44,219.21. Now keep in mind, like I mentioned earlier in this video, I had to give the seller $7,500 up front, which that is already calculated in there. So let's talk about the fees. What does it take? That $12,000 that I'm paying to get this loan, let's go over it. So I paid 1.75% in discount points, which was $6,300. It's a little steep, but again, this kind of loan program just kind of calls for it. You gotta have it. $595 loan admin fee, $795 underwriting fee. I had a $775 appraisal, which is higher than normal. Typically, the appraisal is about $535, but with how busy appraisers are right now, I had to pay more to get it within the time frame I needed it so I can perform on this loan. So another couple $100 is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. My title fees were $1,511, which gives me total loan cost, the cost of getting this loan, of $9,976. Now I have some other costs as well that I had to pay, things like my recording fee and my deed and my mortgage. I had to pay my prepaids, which is my escrows and my homeowner's insurance and taxes. yada, yada, yada. That was another $2,217. You're going to have to pay that regardless if you guys buy a property. And that's a big misconception. A lot of my clients that are buying houses for the first time think that, oh, I'm buying a house, I just need the down payment. You got to pay for your closing costs as well. There's cost to buying homes. And this is kind of the reality of it. And now, then they say, well, Alex, what are your closing costs? Well, you have these other costs too that are not, they're third party, right? Like the mortgage company that I went through, which is my company, doesn't, they don't charge these fees, right? This is 100% third party fees. So you're going to see right here, total fees of $12,193.90. So now we talk about the loan, guys. I was in a position because this loan program is amazing. We're working with a lot of investors on this loan program because it is so beautiful. And I'm sure you guys never heard of anyone say a loan so beautiful. But now I wanted to analyze my return on my investment. And I want to do this that way you guys can get a good idea of the kind of money I'm going to make by investing this money. So as you can see here, my purchase price is $400,000, like I mentioned before. $12,193 for my closing costs, which gives me a total cost for this house of $412,193.90. My down payment of $40,000. I am estimating about $7,000 worth of rehab. I have full intentions, guys, of going into this and taking ownership of this property and increasing rents. I believe it's good to increase rents, and I'm gonna tell you why. If I increase rents, not only do I make more money, but I can actually contribute and invest more money into this property. Better and more money going into this property, therefore increases the neighborhood, right? Therefore gives families who need to rent. Not everyone can buy homes, and trust me, I'm looking for them. We want people to buy homes. That's how I make a living. But people need to rent. Renting is great for a lot of people, and it's not always the best thing to do is buy homes. So if I can provide a better place for them to live, it's going to cost more money. Value in versus value out, right? So let's talk about the 3 units. One unit is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and the other 2 units are a 3-bedroom and 2-bath. So I'm going to increase the rents to a conservative $1,200 per 3-bedroom unit and $900 for the 2-bedroom. Now I'm working with my property management company, which we're going to talk about here in a second, what that costs me. But I'm going to rehab these units where they're durable and they're sustainable. So it's going to allow my overterm cost to be a lot cheaper, but I'm also going to allow pets, which should get me about another $100 to $150 per unit, which I'm going to make these numbers as conservative as possible with us knowing that it can only get better too. So that gives me a total monthly gross payment or income of $3,300, or on an annual basis of $39,600. Now I'll tell you guys what, that's awesome, guys. When I used to work at the credit union, that's more money. I'm making more money from this one property than I made an entire year at the credit union, which is amazing. This is what real estate investing allows when you buy the right properties and understand how to get into them. My management fee of 8%, which is $264. Now, these are my income versus my costs. I'm showing this to you, so this is how I analyze my real estate. Well, now let me talk about my return on my investment, my cash on cash return, not including my principal buy down, which means every single month as these renters are paying, my mortgage is going down. Therefore, I'm gaining more equity. Therefore, my net worth is going up, right? Every single month. So $3,300 worth of income minus my $264 of management fees minus my $1,729 mortgage payment gives me a monthly cash flow positive of $1,306.75. That gives me yearly profit of $15,681. This is great because, again, that allows me to put money aside, keep improving the properties while also taking money off the table and providing a better life for me and my family. So that gives me a total return of 33.36% on my cash on cash. This is amazing, guys. If you think about that, I put $40,000 down and I'm going to make $39,600 gross my first year, which is completely ridiculous. But if you ever have any investment where you can make 30% is insane, guys. It's totally insane. So I show this to you guys because real estate investing is amazing, and every property that we acquire, I'm going to analyze this with you guys to show you the nuts and bolts of how we're going to keep taking down properties just like this, and how ultimately this is going to allow us to create the life that we ultimately want. So if you guys found this video valuable, please do me a huge favor, comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe as more videos come out every single week. And until then, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video.